first of all, I'd like to congratulate Southeastern Louisiana. They're a phenomenal program. We played them for the first time in 2022, and I knew it then. I feel like I know it at a deeper level now. Success leaves a lot of clues, and you just heard their coach speak, and there's pretty much no secrets why they are successful because it's on multi-layers and multi-levels. So congratulations to them. With that said, I want to, just congratulate our team. We came together last July, and it literally has been every single day. And so, you can get your adrenaline pumping and all the things that competitors do when it's time to play, but there's a real peace knowing that every day this team has invested themselves. And it started with, it just started with the weight room, jumping in the pool at 5:30 in the morning for their little swims and all that. We could just go on and on. So today, as I was standing out there at third base, I told them I was really going to try to win the present moment game, pitch by pitch, but I lost about 6 pitches in the 5th inning because I got a little nostalgic thinking about all the work they've put in. So I didn't get 100%.
All right, questions for the student athletes? Please raise your hand. Got up front.
Ever since you moved Sam into the number 2 spot, I wrote over and over how our leadoff and our number 2 are just making lives miserable around the Big Ten Conference. And I really feel like it's all kind of coming together just watching these last few games. What do you guys have to say on that? How well do you feed off each other? Anything along those lines?
I would say that being in the leadoff position, it takes a lot of pressure off knowing that Sammy is right there behind me because she's a player that could do it all. She's fast, she's athletic, she could drop a bunt, she could go yard, she has power, she has speed. And so it takes the pressure off of me in the leadoff knowing that, as a leadoff, you want to start something, but you don't have to be the one. You want to be the one, but knowing you don't have to be the one is something that just allows you to play free. So kudos to Sammy for that.
I would say actually being in the 2 spot, it's like a fun pressure. Batting behind Jordy, I could drop a bunt, I could move her over, I could score her. So it's just a fun pressure. I like playing behind her.
Right up front.
For both of you, regional champions, Jordy, it's not your first one, Sammy, it is. Just how's it feel to win this one and have another week with this team?
I don't know. It's a crazy feeling. I kind of had nervousness before the game, but I think going into the 5th inning, I was just ready. I was ready for the Super Regional. I was ready for whatever comes after this. So just this feeling is just surreal, and I'm so excited for what's coming next.
Yeah, I would say postseason, it's a grind. Like at the very beginning of the regional, it seems like you're so far away from the World Series, and then 3 days later, there's only 16 teams left. So on our journey, we have one goal. It's not to make it to regionals or make it to supers or make it to the World Series. It's to win the World Series. It's a blessing to be able to win a regional with this team, but we know that the work isn't done, and we are just blessed to have the opportunity to be going to Knoxville.
And Jordy, you've said multiple times this year you want to be the airplane, playing your best softball at the end and run ruling these 3 games, 2 very excellent teams. Just what do you think about the quality of softball you've played this weekend?
I think our team has been doing a great job of being focused on ourselves, and it never matters who's in the other dugout. We talked about that this morning. We talked about it before regionals. We just want to be focused on ourselves, and that's when we are playing our best softball. So I would say that we are doing that right now, and we're going to start prepping and be doing the same thing the rest of the way here.
Any more questions for the athletes? We'll go last one right here.
For Jordy, I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but obviously a Nebraska native, how special has it been coming home to put on for your home state, having won 2 World Series at Oklahoma and now being just 2 wins away from going back to Oklahoma City?
Getting to experience it now, I think the one word that comes to my mind is just what a blessing it is. And I know that the Lord's the author of my life, and there's just so many surreal moments lately where I just step back and I'm like, wow, I'm so undeserving just to be able to experience this and to have these amazing teammates to do it with who just make it all the sweeter. And I would say, just a blessing.
All right, thank you guys, and once again, congratulations and good luck in Knoxville this next weekend. Y'all are good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any questions for Coach? Please raise your hand, and we will get a microphone to you up front right here.
I want to throw a couple numbers at you as it relates to Jordy's play. 12 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed this weekend. She hit 5 homers, scored a bunch of runs, drove in a lot more. How do you just sum up a player that's capable of doing that on the softball field?
Wow. That's a pretty good weekend. You know, I've said this all along when people ask me questions about Jordy, whether it's been a game earlier in the season. I just am not surprised. I never would say, oh, I think she's going to do this, this, or this. But when she does do this, this, and this, it never surprises me because what's so cool about her, I mean, a lot of athletes could learn so much from her. She immerses herself in the moment. And she is not focused on numbers, accolades. She's focused on one mission, and it's doing whatever she can to help the team win. And she's just talented enough that she can do a lot of things to help the team win. And we certainly are trying to maximize how to use her, but also how to save her. You notice, like, it doesn't make any sense to pinch run Jordy, but in the 6th inning it does because she's got to go back out there potentially in the 7th. So I think, like I said, I hope she talks about it when she's all done with her career and helps young people as they come up as an athlete, because I think there's a lot to learn, you know, just from not focusing on the external. She's really focused on the internal. And she'll be the first one. Like, if she doesn't have a good game, I mean, she watches film, she talks, she reflects, she journals. I mean, she earns everything she gets through blood, sweat, and tears. So nothing ever surprises me when you see somebody work like that.
One of the, I thought, unsung aspects of the team this year was defense. The beginning of the year, it seemed a little shaky at times, but by the end of the year, it had literally become, I thought, one of your strengths that no one was talking about. What are your thoughts on that?
You see my smile.
Yeah.
I don't mean this literally, but when we started Big Ten, we were shaky out of the gates defensively, and I knew we were better than that. And so we looked at our stats, and I think in the Big Ten, heading into conference play, we were like 15th out of 17 teams. And I said, how about we go from worst to first? And because I knew we were capable of being better, so we just got really dogged about what we do defensively. And like I've always said, this team wants to be good, and they want to be good for Nebraska, so it's no different on defense or offense or whatever. So thank you for noticing that. I'm in charge of defense, so especially on the infield.
Well, one thing, I mean, I have a question. Was there anything specific you worked on, or was it more like the mental side? Guys, you're better than this. You know it's going to come together. And I'm just so fascinated about it because it seemed like you got it when you needed it against this team.
You know, it's both. I mean, I had them one night looking at stuff from high home and looking at their timing hops, like, are we on time? You've got to help us, because when I'm calling pitches, I'm not watching your timing hop. But I thought we were a step late on a lot of plays and just missed a ball, and I'm like, we've got to get on time. Or it might be working on angles, or it might be working on transitions. I mean, just you're going to work a lot of different things physically, but then there's a mentality that goes with it, like, no, we're going to be a shutdown defense. I think it has to start there.
Just on the accomplishment of winning the regional, you know, it's been over a decade since the program's been to a super regional. And for a couple of seniors, you know, Ava and Abby, of course, you know, you've mentioned what they've meant to the culture. Just what does it mean to lead this group back to the Supers?
Yeah. Well, I'm thrilled for our players. I'm thrilled for the staff that hasn't gotten to experience it. I'm thrilled for our fans. It gives them more time to celebrate Nebraska softball and root us on. I'm thrilled for our alumni. Our alumni take a lot of pride in this program. I mean, my phone's been blowing up in alumni threads, and you know, we celebrated 50 years of Nebraska softball this year, and we had over 100 alumni there, and so I'm probably pretty sure that my phone is blowing up again. But you know, it just means a lot. It's not always about winning, but what winning brings to you. I mean, it brings you just feelings of joy. It brings you feelings of love. It makes you know that all the work that you invested, all the early mornings, were worth it. And you can know that when you don't win as much, but when you do, it's like, okay, this is why I did that. This is why it was 40 degrees below wind chill. You probably don't know that. And I'm getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get in the pool to jump in water by 5:45. You know, it makes it worth it. So it's special.
Any more for Coach? Last one?
Yeah, wanted to ask you about Sammy as well. You know, she had a couple of big hits in this game, and it seems like she's kind of that energy, that spark. You know, what is it about her that makes her come up big in those moments?
Yeah, you know, Sammy had a pretty good freshman year, but not a great freshman year. And she started out this sophomore year playing third base for the first time. I think she's done a remarkable job. I just am so thrilled. Not that she's our most improved defensive player, 'cause she's always been a great athlete, but what she's done over there, I think, is just really, really, she's gifted. But there was a point offensively that she kind of had a crossroads, and I think every good hitter does. And it's like, you know what, you can be frustrated, or you can roll up your sleeves and go to work and get blisters. And she rolled up her sleeve and went to work and got blisters. And so now you have to tell her, you know what, the bat's looking a little heavy, to get out of the cages a little bit. So, you know, I love that. You'd rather trim a bushy tail than help somebody try to grow one, right? So Sammy's bushy tail is in full force, and we're trimming it, and she's just a great athlete. And I agree with what Jordy said. You know, when Jordy was injured last year, she probably doesn't even remember this. We were in the middle of a game, and she said, you know, I don't know where Sammy will play next year. I don't know where she'll hit, but I want her close to me. And that's what they're describing, both of them. They're athletic. They just are competitive. And you're starting to see that in Sammy Bland a lot.